Picture this: the icy, vast expanse of the Greenland Sea, a place usually known for its stark beauty and freezing temperatures. But recently, this remote region became the stage for a tense military drama. A powerful U.S. Navy destroyer, the USS Thomas Hudner, was on patrol, a steel giant slicing through the frigid waters. Suddenly, on the horizon, two spakes appeared, growing larger and faster with each passing second. They weren't friendly birds, they were Russian Su-24 fighter jets, screaming towards the American warship. This wasn't just a chance flyby. This was a calculated move in the high-stakes game of global power. The encounter took place north of the Arctic Circle, a region brimming with strategic importance. Think about it. Valuable shipping lanes are opening up due to melting ice, and beneath the seabed lies a treasure trove of untapped natural resources like oil and gas. Russia, with its long Arctic coastline, sees this as its backyard. The US and its NATO allies see it as international waters, crucial for global security and commerce. So when a US warship sails these seas, it's sending a clear message. And when Russian jets buzz that warship, they're sending a message right back. Let's break down the hardware involved. The USS Thomas Hudner is an Arleigh Burke-class destroyer. These ships are the backbone of the U.S. Navy, armed to the teeth with advanced radar, missile systems, and electronic warfare capabilities. They are floating fortresses designed to control the seas and skies. On the other side, the Sukhoi Su-24, known by its NATO reporting name Fencer. It's a supersonic, all-weather attack aircraft. While it's an older design, it's been heavily upgraded and is known for its low-level flight capabilities. Flying fast and low over the water makes it harder to detect and track, which is exactly what these pilots were doing. They were testing the American ship's reactions, its readiness, and its rules of engagement. The U.S. Navy called the interaction safe and professional. That's the official language they use when things don't escalate into a shooting match. But don't let that calm phrasing fool you. For the sailors on the deck of the Thomas Hudner, seeing two heavily armed jets roaring towards them is a heart-pounding experience. Every sensor on the ship would have been locked on, missile systems would have been on standby, and every crew member would have been at their highest state of alert. A single miscalculation, a single aggressive maneuver that's misinterpreted, could have ignited a major international incident. This isn't the first time something like this has happened. Encounters between Russian and NATO forces have become increasingly common, especially in the Baltic Sea, the Black Sea, and now, more frequently, in the High North. Each interaction is a form of communication, a way for both sides to signal their intentions and test each other's limits without firing a shot. Russia wants to show it can project power and challenge NATO's presence near its borders. NATO, in turn, conducts these patrols to assert the right to freedom of navigation and to show solidarity among its members. So, why Greenland? Greenland is the world's largest island, and it sits at a critical junction between the Arctic and the Atlantic Oceans. It's a Danish territory, but it's also home to the Thule Air Base, the U.S. military's northernmost installation. This base is vital for missile warning and space surveillance. Its strategic value cannot be overstated. Any military activity in the seas around Greenland is watched with extreme interest by Washington, Moscow, and Beijing. China has also declared itself a near-Arctic state and is keen on investing in the region, adding another layer of complexity to the geopolitical chessboard. This particular incident with the USS Thomas Hudner happened while it was operating with a Norwegian frigate. This highlights the importance of NATO alliances in the region. The message is that an approach on one allied ship is an approach on all of them. These joint operations are designed to improve coordination and present a united front against any potential aggression. For the sailors on board, it's a constant state of vigilance. Drills are run non-stop to prepare for exactly these kinds of scenarios. They have to be ready to distinguish between a simple flyby, an aggressive probe, and the start of a real attack in a matter of seconds. The footage of these encounters, when released, is always fascinating. You can see the pilots in their cockpits, sometimes flying just a few hundred feet from the ship. It's a very personal and direct form of military posturing. The pilots are essentially looking the sailors in the eye. They are demonstrating their skill, their aircraft's capability, and their nation's resolve. For the public, it's a rare and dramatic glimpse into the day-to-day reality of modern military life, a life lived on the edge, where peace is maintained through a delicate balance of power and professionalism. What does this mean for the future? The Arctic is only going to become more important. As the ice recedes, competition will intensify. We can expect to see more military patrols, more scientific expeditions, and more commercial activity from all sides. This means the potential for these tense encounters will also increase. The key will be maintaining open lines of communication to prevent accidents and miscalculations. Military-to-military channels are crucial for de-escalation, ensuring that when these jets and ships meet in the icy waters, the interaction remains safe and professional and doesn't spill over into conflict. These events are a powerful reminder that even in the most remote corners of our planet, the dynamics of global power are always at play. The silent, icy wilderness of the Arctic is silent no more. It's now an active theater of strategic competition. The actions of the sailors on the USS Thomas Hudner and the pilots in the Russian Su-24s are part of a much larger story about the future of global security, trade, and the environment. It's a complex and evolving situation, and we'll be keeping a close eye on any new developments in the high north. The delicate dance between these global powers in the Arctic is something that will shape the 21st century. Thanks for watching. If you found this breakdown interesting, make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more in-depth analysis of global events. Stay informed and stay safe.